Okay.
Welcome to Pantera Part 3.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to run through the linebackers. So we have obviously the very unknown TJ Watt. Don't know.
Never heard of him.
Devin Bush, Miles, Jack, and Alex Highsmith. Now, don't shout at me when we look at the depth. We've got Malik Reed, Robert Spillane, Mark Robinson, and I've got Marcus Allen and Jamea Jones, who we signed from the Jags, I do believe. Mm-hmm. Yep. So your front four, your starters. Obviously, you've got that man in the middle there, just not doing great things again this preseason.
Why?
It's just a man in the middle.
Like literally.
I'm hoping.
Do you remember Daria and the TV show Daria at the beginning, where you've got the credits and stuff, and she's playing volleyball or something at school, and the ball goes past her, and she just raises her hand slightly. Ball bounces past. That's Devin Bush. Like literally, somebody comes near and he's like, "Oh no, I've missed them," because he's not moved, and all he's done is put a hand out.
Yeah, I know.
Make it look like he's getting effort.
Yeah, he's doing like a step to the right and a step to the left, and that's about it. See, my thinking is Miles Jack is probably the most important signing of this year.
Hands down.
If he can't do anything with Bush, I don't know, can anybody? I guess we have got Spillane if Bush is really that bad.
Yeah, I just don't know why we just didn't give Spillane the job.
Well, I think you've got to give Bush that sort of that chance, I suppose, just because he's younger and sort of supposed to be better.
And we put I've got hope for him. I mean, Bush. I've got hope for him.
Like I said,
not much hope.
If he's got a different partner, and Jack is an upgrade from Schobert for sure. I'm just hoping that this is something that and Bush will listen to him as well, because Bush, he comes across like, I know it all, what you're talking to me about this for, which isn't a great look anyway. So if he's not willing to learn, that's why they haven't picked up his fifth-year option. So
did he say?
It will die for him, really.
Was it Bush who said if he doesn't get the job,
he'll find a job?
Yeah.
That's not right, actually.
Fuck off to the Detroit Lions then. Who cares?
Yeah,
I think Detroit might be the third best team in their division this season. They might not even be the worst.
It's been like that in all interviews, though. There's always said something that's just self-centered and just not really aware of what he's talking about. Pretty much like as if he hasn't got a PR kind of agent, like telling him what to do or how to say things. Or he's just
he's just immature. I don't know.
As
he hasn't got
they've said on the podcast. As they said on the podcast, if he wasn't a first-round pick, there's a very high chance he wouldn't be starting.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No,
it's investment.
If he was picked in the second, third, or fourth round, they would have canned him by now.
Yeah, it's investment. Whatever you want to call it, debt. Essentially, we traded up for him as well. So I guess the organisation doesn't want to. Yeah. We don't want to think that we failed on it by trading up for him.
Well, it's like Kendrick Green all over. It's that kind of mentality of like, we've still got faith in you. We put all this money. Those top 3 rounds, they always say those guys at the start should be in the starting lineup. So it's one of those. It's just they're too proud, aren't they?
Any sort of pressure on Highsmith to do better this year? I mean, he was decent against the run. Does he need more sacks, you think?
He's got more pressure because it's a contract next year, like Claypool. So it's like, he does need sacks because of that. But so
I think it's also nice. Yeah, I think it's quite nice that they'll keep him there anyway. So in case if he doesn't get a sack, Watt's going to get a sack.
Yeah. With the deepest respect to him, if you can't get sacks opposite TJ Watt,
that's what I mean.
Where do you go? I mean,
teamed.
Look at Bud Dupree for how many years when he was with the Steelers, where it was kind of meandered a little bit. Do we keep him? Do we not? The year that TJ blew up, it's like suddenly Dupree thinks he's worth however much he got from Tennessee. I don't want to say that Bud Dupree isn't worth that kind of money, but it's just proof that having a good player opposite you makes you better. Not having.
I agree with that. And actually,
I also think the signing of Reed from Denver puts a bit of pressure on Highsmith as well.
Absolutely,
so he'll have competition for that number 2 outside linebacker role.
I wonder how many snaps Malik Reed will get, and how that'll fluctuate as the season goes on.
I hope a lot.
Yeah, I hope it's a healthy rotation. You know, so
the problem you've got is what you found last year. I know it's different, slightly different, but like TJ Watt was pretty much in, for example, just going on about your players and stuff like that. But it was in like literally all the time, and it's like this has always been our problem because of depth. Like so, our best players in all the time, and then they're going to get injured. And then towards the end of last season, TJ Watt got injured. And then our defense went to tits. And it's like, this is what we need now. We need to have a decent, I guess, we need someone to take up the slack of the better players.
Yeah. Well, this is why I never understood. This is why I never understood Melvin Ingram's attitude at the end, where he's like, I'm not, the second, like, in the line, I'm not getting enough rotation. It's like, well, you will, because the natural thing with the Steelers is they rush, and they keep on taking TJ out because he does 3 or 4 plays and then he's gassed. So he has to come out so you can get in. It's just about, you will play. I know he was like dipping in terms of like the amount of snaps he was getting towards the end, but all you need is an injury on that line. You're in there, and then it's yours to lose.
Like he was a good sort of option, and it's the same what I think is going to happen with Highsmith and Malik, where it's kind of you've got your starter, but then you've also got your third down / if anyone remembers when James Harrison came back to the Steelers after the Bengals trip and the retirement, we didn't use him a lot. We didn't give him that many snaps, but the snaps we gave him were the big
quality.
They were
snaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Third and 6 in the 2-minute drill kind of thing. The left tackle is gassed. There's the quarterback. Take his head off. And that was what we hopefully now have with that rotation.
I'm encouraged with Malik Reed as well. The fact that he's like willing to take a pay cut, that to me makes it look like he's a good egg. He's already got like, I just want to play in this team. I want to be able to, affect with this team.
It's a chance with us. It's a chance to get a ring.
Yeah,
and I do for that. There's a lot. It's like last year with Junior. I actually didn't have any hard feelings when Junior left us, for example. But I got a lot of respect for him last year when he took a massive pay cut to stay with us for a year. And if a player wants to stay with us to have a pay cut when they probably could get more money from somewhere else, you've got a lot of respect for me for that.
I think he probably left 1 year too early, because I think if he was in this rotation where you're going to get more opportunities, especially in the slot, I think he probably could have got a better deal. But I wish him nothing but the best. He never seemed like he ever had any animosity towards Pittsburgh.
He didn't look as happy signing for the Chiefs as he did for the Steelers, though.
Right.
He was very, very straight-faced when he was holding up his Kansas City jersey.
It was a business decision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, So, but
and obviously they've got a better chance at succeeding deeper in the playoffs probably at this moment than us, obviously.
Yeah,
and he'll get long balls as well. He won't just be picking up this sort of dick and dunk sort of 6 yards and everything else.
Yeah, because they've not got a QB1. They've not got a QB1, so
no, awful man.
Oh, we're just going to throw to whoever Mahomes wants to. Whoever Mahomes is going to throw to, whoever he's not looking at.
I don't think the Chiefs are actually as good as they make out. They had a couple pretty decent years. But
I think they'll always be up there. They've got 3 constants. They'll have Reed, Mahomes, and they'll have Travis Kelce, who'll attract a lot of attention.
Well, we can hit other teams when we come to our picks. So let's keep to the scripts, please, gentlemen. I just want to mention Mark Robinson, who I thought has had a fucking brilliant preseason. That guy has just been everywhere, absolutely
Vince
everywhere.
Vince Williams too.
I hope they sort of they get behind him, because obviously he was a running back before.
I love that.
Yeah, brilliant. So he
proper played his heart out.
He's
really did play his heart out.
Yeah, but he's a project I'm looking forward to them to seeing develop. I think
results as well. The game in Jacksonville, he hit their running back he just basically just like a punching bag. He just knocked him back about 4 yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the thing with like having a running back's mentality, is like just to see the gaps and just to see and just to go for it. And he's got no fear.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the aggression's there. It's just I suppose the technique and I suppose the the speed and everything like that, which is coaching. You've got to just tune him up, you know.
So he's always going to be raw.
Yeah, you can't teach the aggression or the drive, but everything else is learnable.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to see how they develop him.
Yeah, be great. Very exciting. We've got the secondary again. Probably one of our sort of weaknesses going in. We've got Akilla Witherspoon, Cam Sutton, safeties, Terrell Edmonds, and obviously Minka. Behind those guys, you've sort of got James Pierre, Arthur Millett, Levi Wallace, who we signed from the Bills, Miles Killebrew, and Trey Norwood. We've got KZ as well, but I think he's out for a good 2 months or so.
And
You know what though?
On defense,
it's better than it has been. I think the secondary.
I don't know.
The jury's out. You don't.
Yeah.
The jury's out because
jury's definitely out.
You can't tell in pre-season.
No.
I haven't been able to tell. I did like when KZ was playing, like the players he brought to the team. I thought there could be a really good 3 safety rotation with that tandem. But I don't. Yeah, unfortunately, he's out for a bit.
What worries me is that Wallace didn't win the starting job from Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really trust Sutton. Witherspoon's okay. He's solid. You can come up with a big play.
You know what though? Sutton has had his flashes.
Yeah. But he's just not consistent enough for me.
I don't know whether it was
not consistent. I agree with that. But
I thought,
where was that in secondary?
I mentioned to somebody else. I thought they'd be on the outside. It'd be Witherspoon and it'd be Wallace on the outside with Sutton as the nickel corner floating about. That's what I thought had happened, but obviously the professionals in the room saw different, and obviously I trust their opinion more than I trust my own.
Yeah.
Hopefully
You're welcome.
Hopefully we'll see. I do want to see a lot more Wallace because I liked him at the Bills.
And he had that relationship with Alabama.
They did well when Tre'Davious White was injured, just to fill in and those things. So
that's it. Yeah,
he did a good job filling in. So
the key difference there, though, is I think Buffalo as a team,
they do different.
They're very different, but they're also incredibly. They don't have the flash players that the Steelers have in terms of impact. They don't have a campaign. Matt Milano is a great linebacker, for example. They've got some good pass rushers, but they're not. They're not they don't have the impact player that the Steelers have got.
Obviously, they have now in Von Miller, but they didn't have him last year.
I don't think Von Miller will work out for him. I think Von Miller I think that's a waste of money.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the Bills' defense last year, and it didn't need Von
Miller,
and it doesn't need Von
especially
Miller
not at
now.
the price, not at the price they pay for it. 2015 Von Miller, 2015 Von Miller, great. He's worth his weight in gold, but 2022, but
the issue they had though, it was the Chiefs game though, wasn't it, where the pass rush just wasn't getting home. With Mahomes. I mean, you can put it down to Mahomes being just absolutely amazing, but that's the thing. They invested quite a bit like that. I think that's one piece that they thought, if we're going to come back to this dance and Mahomes is there to stop us, we need to be able to stop him. And I think that's what they're thinking there is. It's just like that extra bolstering of like the pass rush. But
it's almost like the Rams blueprint, isn't it? They've just copied it really. So obviously they had Donald and Miller last year, and it worked. Obviously,
also got their D tackling Ed Oliver, who they drafted in 2019. I think he's due for a breakout year, because I think especially if they've got Von Miller coming out the outside, he won't have as much people on him in the middle. Exactly. And I think it's a very good pass rusher from the inside.
It's hopefully going to elevate other players, around them.
And if his play style doesn't work, they've still got a very well accomplished and knowledgeable veteran in that locker room as well. So that's going to count towards it.
To also teach a now a second-year edge rusher in Greg Rousseau, who they from last year, and I think that the experience alone will be extra valuable to him.
With the Steelers defense, just going back to it, the one thing I don't want to see this year, I know it sounds weird, but the one thing I want to see less of is the big splash plays that we had. It sounds odd. Obviously, you want to see interceptions, you want to see, but it felt like last year we were a bad defense with
moments,
with the moments that got us out of jail. TJ, especially Cam Hayward. What I want to see this year is, I know we've bemoaned
boring and consistent.
Years. What we've bemoaned it for years, the kind of bend but don't break philosophy that the Steelers used to have, where it was like, okay, we give up yards, but when you get to the red zone, beat us here.
Stop it.
And I think the additions the Steelers have made on defense, at least the consistency is going to be there. There's not going to be the big over the top, 70-yard throws, anything like that we're going to concede. That's the hope for me, is that we can allow the splash plays to happen, but on a consistent kind of, with a spine of a defense that's not going to give up the big play. I mean, last year we were so weak on the ground. With the amount of yards we used to give up with the run game, that's got to stop. That's still
a big concern.
And that's a big concern. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern this season. It's not even the O-line. Believe it or not, even though the O-line is, I'm not. I appreciate it. It's huge. The O-line, I appreciate that, but my biggest. I've said this for the last couple of years, and I've really seen it over the last couple of years. Yeah. We've got to stop that run. We don't seem to have that ability to stop that run, and I'm really hoping that this we're going to see that in this season. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not optimistic. That is the
easiest way. The easiest way as an offense. The easiest way as an offense to suddenly get off script and off balance, which the Steelers give me the impression that as an offense they want to be balanced. They don't want to overrun Najee, but they also don't want to throw 60 times a game. The easiest way to get off balance is to give up yards on the ground. As soon as you start giving up yards on the ground, you start burning the clock and that. You go off script. Mitch has to throw 50, 60 times. That's how you lose a lot of games.
Exactly.
Doing that.
I want you actually, and funny enough, what you actually found last year, I think someone actually said this in in the on our wonderful page. Basically, the defense was gassed.
Yeah.
All the time, constantly on there. But we've got to get in there quick. We've got to get them off so the offense can start trying to make some points. But the problem that you're having is, because we can't seem to stop the run, it's like every single opponent, it doesn't matter what team it is.
It's too easy.
Yeah, every single, if they know if you can run, it's going to be a full-on drive after drive after drive, just getting down, and it's going to be blind.
We just need to stay healthy, don't we? I mean, you can see what the people, like what the players behind the starters or the starting, how they're not that great, so we need that big stars to keep healthy, really.
Yeah, we can't have an injury list this year. Really can't. Like I did last season, special teams. She'll hand it over to Callum. Take it away.
So obviously, a hugely consistent part of our season was Chris Boswell. It was probably
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
One of my favourite players as well.
Game-winning field goals, long field goals. Just his ability to get out was kind of crucial to us winning as many games as we did. I think without him, probably we would have won about 5 games. That was about it. Issue with me, I mentioned this a few times, it's Presley Harvin. Obviously, he had a lot going on last year in his personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we'll see what he truly can bring. Now he's past that stage of his life. It can truly get knuckled down and focus on his football. But a good thing with Presley Harvin was Chris Boswell loved him because his holding was ultra consistent. He was on the spot every time. I don't think
he just pretended it was a burger.
Big boy.
I don't think he dropped a single time, and his holds were on the point every single time.
He's been booming in training camp.
Mention with Christian Kuntz, is a long snapper. They do the job, and they're only really
No,
Oh,
Lee.
Grovel.
No.
Lee.
No. No.
Every
They're
time
only
someone
really-
says it, I have to giggle.
Unbelievable.
They're only really noticed when they screw up.
Joe, that's the irony isn't it? Is like, was it someone? I can't remember the name of the long snapper. I don't know if anyone remembers it back in the day, but
Oh,
he
when
was the. No, he was the New York Giants long snapper. He botched a snap in a postseason game. It was a game-winning field goal that he botched.
Oh yeah.
This is like 2001, I think, 2002.
Yeah.
And he actually said the most important thing about being a long snapper is don't let anyone know who you are. And yet we just happen to have a long snapper with the greatest surname in the world. The irony.
I think
I like the addition of Gunnar Olewski. He's incredible punt return. He's capable. He's solid. He gets 25 yards every kick return, just about. Over 10 on punt returns. But he's shown with the Patriots that he was capable of the odd splash play. I think it was once against the Chargers. Admittedly, they've historically had one of the worst special team units of all time, but he is capable of those big punt returns, either getting it deep into enemy territory or even getting a touchdown out of it. So I think that's something to be excited for.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Ray, I mean, he had his odd splash plays, but I don't think he did a lot last year, really.
No. Not as much as Ray McDonald.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ray McDonald was amazing in those two games that announcer would happen to be at. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Callum, just because I trust your judgment, for what you've seen so far then, in comparison to the last, couple of years, in your area, how do you think we are?
I think in terms of when it's us kicking, we're a very good unit. Obviously, that comes down to that. But when it's returning, I don't think we're as good. We haven't had the return talent there. I think this year we finally have it. But obviously, the years we've had Switzer, we've had McLeod. I don't think AB exactly.
It was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's mad that anyway. You think about it like that, it's like he used to return. It's like how the hell did he used to do that? But I
watched a documentary the other day from a few years ago. It was about how Sam Cook, the former Ravens punter, just came up with this whole arsenal of punts just to avoid AB.
Yeah, I'd avoid AB as well. To be honest,
I'd avoid AB.
Yeah.
And it
especially in a dark alley.
He all these wacky punts to just try and get the ball away from Antonio Brown.
You know what? It's so sad that I think they say it in every single broadcast. He has got to be. He is one of the best ever Steelers. I mean, he didn't win a Super Bowl.
He's one of the best receivers. Full stop.
He is.
I think he's the best receiver.
Yeah.
I don't even think. I know. Okay, I know Lynn Swan is in the Hall of Fame. John Stallworth was fantastic. Hines Ward will be in Hall of Fame. We've had some amazing wide receivers. I don't think anyone had a complete, the everything in all in one like AB had. I really don't think anyone.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I also don't know of a player. Maybe I know Terrell Owens is now in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know of a player who was destined for Canton, destined for all time.
Guaranteed, it was guaranteed.
That just went bang. That just completely self-destructed, and it's the sad.
I think
it's a sad thing.
I mean,
really is.
I've watched football since 1985, and Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and AB for me, top four. But out of them four, AB was the most exciting and just the most could turn a game on a single play.
100%.
You know, Rice had obviously Montana and blah 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 blah, and Johnson was an absolute machine in the air, but AB just gave me goosebumps every time because he was
just fantastic.
His connection with Roethlisberger was
phenomenal, and they were so close as well. They were proper buddies as well, and he's just a shame, really.
It's a testament.
Like Rodgers and Adams were.
Mental health is real, guys. Mental health is real.
Yeah,
and that proves it.
We agree.
It's like absolutely. It's just a shame because he was never right after that hit, and that proves it.
It started before the hit, though.
Yeah,
he had his moments before the hit. Yeah.
I think it was the money. I think it was the contract. I think that went
possibly
more than anything.
believe
I
it
think
starts to
that-
believe their own hype and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you all got sort of Steeler prediction records?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going off, let's just
Shall I
cross that
start
off.
and then we'll just go around the room? Okay. So just as a sum up, I've got us off to a 3-1 start. I think we'll lose to the Patriots in week 2, but then I think just go if we're going with Trubisky, I think we'll have a horrible October. I think we'll lose 4 in a row. Yeah, and then we'll sort of claw it back towards the back end sort of thing. And I think we'll have a 4-game winning streak against the Panthers, Raiders, Ravens, and Browns.
I've got 5-game winning streak.
Okay. So I've got us at 10-7, which is very much sort of rose tinted glasses. Really, Trubisky's got to have a decent season, and obviously if he goes down and if somebody else is in or the O-line's absolutely garbage, I can see it sort of turning south. But I've got us at 10-7. Whether that gets us into the playoffs, I wouldn't like to say, but because obviously you got the Ravens and the Bengals in there as well. So just what I found out today is that Ben had 7 game-winning drives last year, so which is a lot. And 6 comeback wins, so that's a lot that went on the final record, really. So whether Mitch has got that in him, I don't know. So I've got us at 10-7. Stephen,
I've got us at 9-8.
Okay, yeah, which seems to be the consensus, really.
Yeah, I think the discrepancy is probably you probably got us winning the Bengals, have you?
Yeah, week 1. I think we'll take them week 1.
Yeah. See, I got us both losing them, but I don't know. Yeah, they're going to be close games. They're going to be, off the wires with a few of them. So, but yeah, I've got 9-8.
Okay, Lee.
I've got 9-8.
Okay, cool.
Gone for 9-8 as well. But I've got our trap game already set out. We're going to lose against the Jets.
The Jets, yeah, which we did a couple of years ago, didn't we? Yeah, I could see that easily.
But just from what the Jets have done this season.
No Zach Wilson.
Like, ooh.
Jets are quite interesting, actually, aren't they? Very interesting.
But at least we get the Jets. At least we get the Jets before I think Zach Wilson might be still out. Maybe. So
see Flacco.
Be nice to see Flacco again.
Yeah. We get the wheelchair.
The Flacco sold it for me, to be honest. I was like, ooh.
Right. Shall we have a drum roll and get?
Oh, here we go.
Get
do you want me to go first? I ain't gone through
Oh God!
the
Palpatine with a terrible towel.
Come on then. Hit
right,
it.
well, I've not got the actual schedule in front of me because I'm on the phone. But I'm saying 14-3.
Fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Who are we losing to here?
I reckon we will lose to the Bengals
on Sunday.
Sunday or next second game?
Second game.
Second game. Okay. Yeah, I think we will. I think we could. If it's surprised, I'm actually thinking the Jets.
Okay.
And I can't think of the other one right now because I've not got my schedule in front of me because I'm on my phone. But I did look at it before. I was looking at like the stuff. I thought, yeah, we can do these. We can do these. We can't do these, or we can, and so on.
So,
you're looking at this year's list, Phil. Just checking first.
Is it the Steelers or is it the Bucks?
He's looking at the Steelers. It just happens to be the 1977.
Yeah.
Oh,
beating the Oilers. Let me tell you something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go on then, Phil. Tell us something.
We're going all the way. Yeah.
Okay.
All the way.
Moving on.
So you're saying get squeaked?
I'm gonna be the party pooper here. So I think it's one of those things where if we were in the NFC, I think we'd have every chance of 10 games. But because we're in the AFC, I think we are going to have our first losing season. That is my prediction.
Whoa.
I almost put us at 8 and 9.
It's the hardest division, I think.
It's the hardest division.
incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
I can understand that what you're saying.
You can go anywhere from 7 to 10 games, I think.
It's a hard division with a team that is still finding its identity still, and there's every chance that we're not going to have that identity in time.
Yeah.
Right,
You've got such a competitive AFC. I mean, the NFC is compared to the AFC is ridiculous. Like in terms of the strength of schedule on that, it's insane. You know, we're probably, if you look at it on balance, there's at least 8 or 9 teams out there that I'd put ahead of us in our conference. And that's nothing against.
They've all got in our conference in our division.
We're in the right time zone, though. We're in the right time zone.
The Eastern.
That is, we're in the. We only have to look at like the actual schedule, and we
haven't got to travel very far, have we?
Exactly, and that's what this is the sort of thing I was thinking about when I was looking like the actual result of what I think we might actually do. I'm sorry I can't think of like all the actual things right now from on the phone, but I'll tell you right now, Steelers don't travel very well, but actually we don't travel very far, and that's a big thing. I'm telling you right now. We've got this.
Callum?
Yeah, so I've got us around 8 and 9, 9 and 8. There's a couple of games where I think we could go either way. I've got us losing against Cincinnati, but then going a 3-game win streak. Again, likely I've got my trap game set, but it's not the Jets. I think it'll be Carolina. I think they're quite underrated. I think Baker will want to come out firing, and I like the weapons that they have, and I think they've got an above average defense.
Carolina is
a trickier opponent than a lot of people think. I think that'll be our game. So I can't decide between 8 and 9 or 9 and 8.
Yeah, it looks like it could go either way, really, couldn't it? So
I'm looking at those games at Bills, home to the Bucks, at Dolphins, and then at Eagles. And the Dolphins-Eagles matches is quite close together as well. So it's like before the bye. I've got that as a 4 losing streak.
Yeah,
I think
that's
you're the same.
I've got,
That's what I just think
take one of 3 in that situation. Yeah. I mean, you would take a win of just out of those 4 games. And the weird thing about the NFL is you pick up wins against teams you shouldn't beat.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have had a really annoying habit these last few years of you go, right, we've just beaten Tampa.
Yeah.
And you think, finally a bit of Brady revenge or something.
And then they meet the Raiders.
Exactly. And then the next week you play you play a team you actually should on paper beat. And
you know what though?
Just play down.
You know what with that one though? What you just said that you're spot on there. What you just said then about these trap games, and this is why I'm quite optimistic actually, because the thing is
no trap game this year.
It was Ben. That fluffed it.
Yeah, we are the trap this year. but that's a good thing. I'm actually quite.
Ben fluffed it.
I enjoy the fact.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like this since week 3 of 2019. I actually enjoy the fact that there are a number of analysts, experts, pundits, ex-players, whatever you want to call it, that have just looked at Pittsburgh and just gone, they're an afterthought.
I love that.
Yeah. Yes.
Think about
I know. Exactly. I know. I've just said we're going to have I'm expecting a losing season, but it's that mindset of, you know what? I actually kind of like the underdog mentality that we can actually have and go out with these games. Let's be spoilers. Let's actually go to Cleveland and, for once actually have that chip on our shoulder.
I'm looking forward to the North, the AFC North in general. For many years has been Steelers, Ravens, and now all of a sudden it can be anybody's team, anybody's.
People say it's all about Cincinnati.
Anybody can.
Cincinnati haven't been the best team in the AFC North, or they haven't even been. They weren't a Super Bowl contender with the deepest respect until they were actually in the Super Bowl. Because every game they played that postseason and towards the end of the year, it was still they're it's nice for them. They're in the tournament, whatever. And then it's like, oh, they just beat Oakland. Oh, they just beat Kansas. What? Like it just snowball from there. I still don't think I think Cincinnati will have that hangover season. They'll have that Super Bowl hangover.
They've got a brand new O-line. It's they're a bit they've got more moving parts on O-line than we have, and them gelling. There's a lot riding on them to protect. Yeah, to protect Joe Burrow. That being said, he did all right with a shit O-line last season. So does it? Yeah, it's one of those. And the Ravens, they don't have many wide receivers really to throw to anymore. They've all got weaknesses.
Every team's got distractions as well.
Yeah.
It's not just. I mean, you look at Cleveland and you think, well, in March, Cleveland were in a great position or in a very good position, and now it's like there's not a single person outside of Ohio that wants them to win because of the circumstances surrounding that club. Cincinnati have got the expectations of going back to the Super Bowl. No team realistically in their own head wants that. And I mean, Baltimore, you've got Lamar's contract, and until they get that sorted, that could implode. Exactly. That's a huge decision for them to be making, both front office and on the field.
And the thing is,
tomorrow's the day.
Exactly.
That's right, isn't it? Isn't the right quarterback? Because he probably isn't like in a general like short-term basis because of the kind of quarterback he actually is. But on a long-term basis, he's going to get injured. He's going to get injured.
I'm shocked he hasn't had more injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Style of play,
because he's not just a running quarterback. He's not just a run 10 yards and slide. He's a run 10 yards, take a hit and go down. It's like
there's a lot of the design plays. Just gone middle. And
I can never understand a coach as good as John Harbaugh, and I have a lot of respect for John Harbaugh as a coach. But it baffles me that whenever he takes a hit, that he's not in Lamar's face going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
you're the only player that can't play with a bad shoulder. You're the only player who can't play with a bad leg. Stop.
I'm surprised that I'm surprised any wide receiver actually wants to play for the Ravens, if I'm honest. Because why would you? Because
what's he going to do in like 6 or 7 years' time when his feet have stopped? He's got
exactly.
an arm. It's
not a long-term process.
Totally redundant.
And there's times where he might be able to reach the outside, but you haven't been able to see the outside sections, hashes. So if you're an outside receiver, it's going to be even tougher for you. Obviously, you can see the slot receiver, you can see Mark Andrews, who's become one of the better tight ends in the league. But if you're an outside receiver, he's not going to see you. He might be able to get the ball to you, but he won't be able to see you.
No, and the more he slows down over time, the more defenses are not